Wonderful morning to our viewers across the world. It's Ayo Adams on the sports segment of the weekend show. And it's been an exciting week, of magnificent football across the world. The Champions League will probably return in a couple of weeks. We also have the Under-20 World Cup going, Under-20 Nations Cup going on currently in Egypt. But we'll start with that. The Nigerian Under-20 football team have successfully made it into the semi-finals of the ongoing Afcon Under-20 Championship in Egypt. The Flying Eagles defeated Uganda in the quarterfinals with a 1-0 victory. The progression into the semis means they have now qualified for the upcoming Under-20 FIFA World Cup 2023 that will be holding in Indonesia. Their semi-final encounter will now commence on Monday, the 6th of March by 6 p.m. at the Cairo International Stadium against Gambia, who are unbeaten so far in the competition. Well, that's some of the celebration video. We can see that celebration video again of the Flying Eagles at Cairo after they defeated their opponent in the quarterfinals of the championship with a 1-0 victory. All right, moving on, we also have other news and transfer news now to some transfer updates. Roberto Firmino has now decided to not renew his contract and part ways with Liverpool, the club, after 8 successful years. The 31-year-old has told Jurgen Klopp on his decision. The 31-year-old striker has decided not to renew his expiring contract at the end of the season and will part ways with the club in the summer after 8 successful years. Firmino personally informed the manager Jurgen Klopp about his decision and has positive talk with him on Friday. In 2015, the Brazilian completed his move from Hoffenheim in a $21.3 million deal to Liverpool. Since then, he has scored over 107 goals and provided 78 assists in 352 appearances. He became the highest scoring Brazilian striker in the Premier League history and now has 78 goals in top-flight football. Firmino has won 7 titles for Liverpool. Amongst them are the Champions League in 2018-2019 season and the Premier League title a year later. Well, moving on to Barcelona. Barcelona may have found their mojo back on the pitch of play with a hard-fought win over Real Madrid in the first leg of the Copa del Rey with a 1-0 victory, courtesy of the own goal by Eder Militao. But off the pitch, Barcelona have continued to be in financial deficit, as La Liga's chief has now instructed and said while having an interview over last week that the Catalan club will not be able to make transfers over the next course of the window. It's such a magnificent tie that Barcelona in La Liga have been doing nothing more but dominate the league, score goals, win games. Unfortunately for them, they couldn't win their last game in the La Liga against Almeria, which would have given them a 10-point lead against Real Madrid. But they defeated Real Madrid at the first leg of the Copa del Rey in the Santiago Bernabeu. But on the other side of the coin, Barcelona are now facing a transfer dilemma which might see them lose some of their crucial players, namely players such as Frenkie de Jong, who was about to leave over the summer because of the wage bill. La Liga president has now told Barcelona and, the whole world of Barcelona, if they do not reduce their wage bill, which will mean that their players would have to cut their earnings. That had happened before, and some of the players were not happy to do that. But we'll wait to see what happens in the summer transfer window if Barcelona can commence the new season without certain players, or will they lose some of their best players to this particular ban? Well, now let's move to tennis. Well, the ATP Dubai 500 tennis commenced earlier this week, and we had some magnificent tennis displayed across the championship. But the most significant part is that Novak Djokovic has now lost for the very first time in the 2023 season. Djokovic, whose last victory was in Melbourne after defeating Stefanos Tsitsipas at the Australian Open for the first Grand Slam of the season. He now lost to one of his major counterparts, who he lost to in 2020. He lost to Daniil Medvedev in 2020 at the US Open, the last Grand Slam of the season. Medvedev has now been the player who has put the stop to Djokovic's major reign so far this season. Djokovic has been unbeaten so far this season, 20-0, but the defeats came. The Dubai semi-finals where Daniil Medvedev shocked Novak Djokovic with a 6-4, 6-4 double-set win. He will now face his countryman Andrei Rublev in the finals. Rublev also defeated Sasha Zverev in the other semi-finals of the competition. The Dubai ATP tennis final will be holding tomorrow, and we'll see 2 countrymen, Daniil Medvedev versus Andrei Rublev. And finally, we'll move to Formula One. As the Constructor Championship for the 2023 season will kick off tomorrow. Practices have started and happened over Thursday and Friday. But the final first Grand Prix of the season will kick off in Bahrain tomorrow. But the question in everybody's mouth has been, will Max Verstappen clinch his third consecutive title, or will Lewis Hamilton reemergence come back after a fallback from 2 seasons ago and last season? We'll wait to see how that pans out. Well, it's now it's always as it has been, Red Bull versus Mercedes in the Constructor Championship of the 2023 F1 season. If you're a fan of Formula One, the Grand Prix will kick off tomorrow at Bahrain. Make sure you tune in and make sure you watch the first race of the opening season. We'll wait to see at the end of the season. We'll be keeping you updated on who, as will be leading the Constructor Championship table. Well, it's a Super Sunday weekend with Liverpool playing Manchester United in contest for glory and progression into the Champions League next season, and also cementing places in the top 4. We'll wait to see how that pans out over the weekend tomorrow on Super Sunday. But so far, we went to the streets with Onile Kona to ask the fans, who do they think will win the game between Liverpool and Manchester United? And also, if you as a coach have Mohamed Salah and Marcus Rashford in your team, who would you field first? My name is Ayo Adams. I'll be seeing you same time next week. Here's what the fans have to say. Bye-bye for now.